Okay, we're now going to look at some other tools keeping with our annotation and line theme. I want to start with the grid, and we'll also touch on the levels as well, which I haven't done much on just yet. So the grid is incredibly powerful as well. You can start to draw these with arcs or grab existing lines on the project. We've got multi-segment. There's some offsets here as well. I want to grab some existing lines on this building. I'm going to get this one, and I'm just going to bring that up and bring this up. This will grab a grid and then align it to that particular wall. So this one wasn't aligned. So to do that, I could go and align to that wall and then lock it. If I want to create another grid, I can create similar. And if I want to use the pick line tool, I'll grab it here. All I'm doing is just bringing that out. And as I bring this out, it will start to snap. I can lock that in. And again, I can go and keep doing this again and again. So I'll just do this quite quickly. I could also do an offset way of creating the grid. So maybe you might not need grids for a residential house. Just depends on how much information you want to give the contractor or anybody who's working on this project. Maybe for set outs, they may want to do the set out of the grid line information. Sometimes though, for these type of projects, they tend to work a lot of stuff out on site. Not everything is always built perfectly. If I want to redo that grid again, maybe I want to do it here and use the offset tool. I know this one wants to be 6 meters, and I can just go up here and go use that green line, do offset, and now I have my grid. And I just found a little mistake. This one should be aligned with the outside face of this wall. Just do that, and it's in the right location. And then this one, I want to align it with the outside face of this wall. Okay. So here's my grids, and they've just given me a numeric set of numbers here. I could go and use the dimensioning tool as well. So we did something with dimensioning before. Now this one I could actually lock these in together as well. So if things do move, everything will move accordingly. There's also an equalizing tool. This could be messy. I'll hit it and see what happens. Yeah, it's gonna mess some stuff up. If you wanted to use this, and I'll do just the basic demo of how you could potentially use this. So let's say you've gone and drawn a number of walls, and you're doing the copy of these walls, and you're just doing them at random dimensions, and you want to use the measurement tool to measure these walls. And these ones I'll just go and do center lines and just give individual references. So I've gone and dimensioned all of these, and I want them all to be equal. You can use equal, and that will now equalize those walls for you. So that's a handy little tool for productivity. Now with these grid lines, I want to do some more. I won't do propagate extents just yet, but this just starts to copy the extents and the appearance of the datum elements to parallel views. So we'll look at that soon. Again, I want to do just create similar, and I want to do this wall here, and I'll pull this right out to this side. At the moment, it's following the increments of the numbering system. I want this one now to be with A, so display as A for the name, and go OK, and I'm going to pull it out to here. And of course I can either copy or offset it. So I will just do an offset here. I know that I want this one to be at 8 meters, and I'm using this one. Hover over it, there it is. And the next ones I want them to be at a 6 meter grid. So I'm going to go here and here. These are all locking as well, so you can kind of see that things aren't quite right. So I'll pull them out just for clarity. I could also turn on the bubbles at this end of the project as well if I want to. So all of that can be done, and I can dimension these, of course, and lock them down as needed. So these are handy little tools if you wanted to use grids in your project. Just like in previous tutorials, you can edit it. So this one may not work perfectly, but I'll just keep them at a gray scale. Let's see how that one comes up. You can start to see here the actual grid lines themselves are showing up as a grayscale. Maybe not the best color to use. I'll use a darker blue here. If I want to edit the symbol here, I would go into the family and edit that symbol to make it blue as well. You could use different types of symbols that are loaded into your project. You've got weights of the line types. The pattern is by default grid line, but there's other ones you could choose from. So we could go for a long dash, and you can have the symbols at the end, and there's some other ones here for non-plan to choose from. So I'm just going to go apply, and that has given us the grid lines, and I've got rid of the bubbles. So some people don't like the bubbles, look a bit cleaner. And I could, color code everything here as well and get it all looking on a nice sort of graphic. So that's the basic grids, and again, these can be really powerful. You can also do structural grids as well, and structural grids are really powerful. This is where you can benefit from using grids on connection with certain structural elements. But structure is a little way away in terms of the tutorials. So that was our floor plan grids. And I want to move into the grids that are shown in the elevations or the sections. So I'm going to go to one of the elevations, and I will choose this elevation here. This one hasn't been placed on a sheet yet, so it doesn't have any annotation in it. When you do place it on the sheet, it will display like this and tell you what sheet it's assigned to. So I'm going to go to this one here, and that's the bubble, depending on what side you want to be facing, and then that little arrow just gives you an extent of where the marker is. I'm going to go here and go to the actual view, so I need to be selecting on that marker. Go to elevation view, and here it is. Now this one maybe doesn't have a template on it at the moment. For anybody who's done templates, we had some information on templates in an earlier tutorial. Just for what I'm doing today, I just want this one to be at, say, 1 to 50, a bit more detail, and I want the levels to match the grids. You can see the grids have been created here as well, so that's kind of nice, and you can bring this up as you need to. And then if you don't want to have those section markers showing, this is the quick and easy way. I can just hide and view by category. If I do it by elements, it's just doing that one element. Just undoing here, if I go and hide and view by category, that will get rid of those there. Now I want the levels to be similar to the grid lines, so I can go and grab those levels. And for this one here, I'm going to unlock it. I want the roof just to go back a little bit here. I want that to display the same way, so I can go to edit type, and I can change the color and make it blue as well. And I can go and change all the patterns and everything I need. Looks like the symbol is this triangle. We'll just keep that as it is and go apply. And now we have some blue lines here that look kind of nice and clean. So here we have the colors of our grids with no bubbles, and the colors of our levels all looking sort of similar in that elevation view.